Welcome to the Network Plus Prepcast, your dedicated audio companion for mastering every objective on the CompTIA Network Plus certification exam. This series is produced by baremetalcyber.com. In episode 121, we shift focus to the section of the certification exam that emphasizes keeping networks running smoothly on a daily basis. Unlike earlier domains that focus on architecture or connectivity principles, Domain 3 is all about operational readiness, real-time monitoring, and maintaining high availability. It explores how to identify and respond to issues before they impact users, and how documentation and structured processes help teams maintain service continuity. For Network Plus candidates, this domain bridges the gap between knowing how networks are built and understanding how to keep them performing consistently. Network operations represent the beating heart of any well-performing infrastructure. If a network is not actively monitored and managed, minor issues can grow into major outages. This domain teaches how to detect problems early and respond effectively, preventing damage to productivity and business operations. It also reinforces the need for structure. Standard operating procedures, planned changes, and well-documented processes help technicians work faster and reduce risk. On the exam and in real life, operations is where proactive management meets reactive incident handling. Mastering this material ensures you not only understand networks, but can also support them. Domain 3 is organized around three core themes: visibility, control, and documentation. Monitoring tools and protocols provide the visibility needed to spot anomalies or track performance. Change and incident management offer control over planned and unplanned events. Standard operating procedures ensure consistency and repeatability, whether it's interpreting logs, following a rollback plan, or identifying faulty hardware. These topics are central to keeping the network healthy. On the exam, expect to demonstrate your understanding of the tools, policies, and methods that support day-to-day network functionality. Network monitoring plays a foundational role in operations. It helps administrators detect outages, spot unusual traffic patterns, and evaluate system performance against known baselines. Tools can provide real-time alerts or generate historical reports to support root cause analysis. Monitoring may also be integrated with automated actions, such as restarting a failed service or switching to a backup connection. The exam often presents scenarios that require identifying the purpose of specific monitoring tools or protocols and how they contribute to operational awareness. Accurate and up-to-date documentation supports nearly every task in network operations. This includes network topology maps, wiring diagrams, IP address schemes, and inventories of devices and software versions. In addition to helping technicians understand the current state of the environment, documentation provides a record of changes and decisions made over time. Audit trails and log files are especially important for troubleshooting and compliance. On the exam, expect questions that reference documentation types and ask how they support tasks like recovery, analysis, or capacity planning. Change management is a structured process used to control modifications in the network. This includes scheduling upgrades, configuring new hardware, or applying patches. Each change must be approved, tested when possible, and clearly documented. Change management often includes version control to track what was changed and when. It also requires rollback plans in case something goes wrong. The certification exam frequently asks how and why changes are managed, emphasizing both operational stability and accountability. Incident response is another key function within network operations. When an outage or unexpected behavior occurs, teams must have a defined process for triage, communication, escalation, and resolution. This process often begins with detection, followed by investigation, and ends with remediation and documentation of the root cause. Effective incident response also includes customer or user communication to manage expectations and coordinate efforts. The exam will test your ability to identify steps in an incident response workflow and to match tools or roles with appropriate response tasks. Standard operating procedures, or SOPs, provide detailed instructions for completing tasks consistently. These can cover routine actions like configuring devices, handling support tickets, or escalating a security alert. SOPs ensure that team members follow the same steps and maintain quality, even when under pressure. They are especially valuable during high-stakes events like outages, where mistakes can compound problems. For the exam, you should understand how SOPs improve consistency and how they are used in both daily operations and emergencies. Business continuity planning ensures that the network can support critical functions even during a disruption. This includes preparing for power failures, hardware malfunctions, or natural disasters. Elements of business continuity often overlap with disaster recovery, which focuses specifically on restoring operations after a major failure. Continuity plans require regular testing, updates, and staff awareness to remain effective. The exam may include questions about what types of events trigger a continuity response and which components make up a complete continuity plan. Metrics and baselines provide the operational reference point for normal network behavior. Administrators use these to measure performance over time, identify degradation, and plan for capacity expansion. Common metrics include bandwidth usage, error rates, and device responsiveness. Baselines help distinguish between a one-time spike and a developing issue. On the exam, you may be asked to interpret metric data or to identify why establishing baselines is critical for monitoring success and proactive troubleshooting. Redundancy and fault tolerance are fundamental design principles that also apply in operations. These strategies help maintain service during component failures. Redundancy can include secondary links, backup devices, and power sources. Fault tolerance focuses on ensuring the system can continue to function without manual intervention when failures occur. This minimizes downtime and protects against cascading problems. The exam will likely ask you to evaluate how redundancy strategies improve availability and which components should be duplicated in critical environments. For more cyber content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other podcasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. Logging and alerting are essential components of any network operations strategy. Logs provide records of events, changes, and actions taken by devices, users, or systems. These logs may include configuration changes, security events, system errors, or access attempts. Alerts are typically generated in real time when a condition such as high CPU usage or link failure is detected. Logs can be stored locally on devices or sent to centralized logging systems for easier analysis and long-term retention. On the exam, you may be asked to recognize the role of logs and alerts in troubleshooting or compliance tasks. Communication and vendor relationships also play a role in day-to-day operations. Service level agreements, or SLAS, define performance expectations, such as uptime guarantees or support response times. Non-disclosure agreements, or NDAs, protect sensitive information shared between partners. Memorandums of Understanding, or MOUs, outline the responsibilities of each party during collaborative efforts. Understanding these documents helps ensure that everyone involved in supporting a network knows their role. The exam may ask you to identify which agreement applies in a given situation or how these documents support operational coordination. Backups and restoration procedures ensure that the network can recover quickly from failures or misconfigurations. Regular backups of device configurations, system settings, and firmware versions allow teams to restore functionality without rebuilding from scratch. These backups can be scheduled automatically and stored off demeanor to prevent data loss. Fast recovery is essential during outages, and well-practiced restore operations minimize downtime. For the exam, expect to answer questions about backup frequency, storage practices, and the benefits of automated backup systems. Load sharing and load balancing are used to distribute traffic evenly across network resources. Load sharing involves using multiple paths or connections simultaneously to spread out data flow, which enhances efficiency. Load balancing goes a step further by dynamically assigning workloads to the most available resource, such as distributing client requests across multiple servers or links. Both concepts improve fault tolerance and prevent any one device from becoming a bottleneck. The certification exam may present scenarios where balancing traffic improves availability or resolves performance issues. Monitoring protocols play a vital role in collecting data and maintaining network awareness. Simple Network Management Protocol, or SNMP, allows administrators to poll devices for status updates, configuration details, and usage metrics. Syslog is used to collect event logs from network hardware, including warnings, failures, and system actions. NetFlow provides visibility into traffic patterns, showing which applications or endpoints are consuming bandwidth. These protocols support centralized monitoring platforms and automated alerts. The exam will likely test your understanding of which protocol provides which type of information. The physical environment must also be monitored as part of network operations. Temperature, power supply, humidity, and airflow directly impact the stability and lifespan of networking equipment. Cabling should be neatly routed, labeled, and protected from damage. Environmental sensors and smart power units can alert staff when conditions deviate from safe norms. Failures caused by physical issues often manifest as intermittent connectivity or hardware degradation. The exam may include questions on best practices for managing the physical layer and maintaining optimal conditions in server rooms and wiring closets. Preparing for Domain 3 on the exam involves more than memorizing tools. It requires understanding the underlying processes and how they relate to network stability. You'll need to recognize how monitoring systems detect anomalies, how documentation supports recovery, and how structured procedures reduce the risk of human error. Familiarity with terminology such as baseline, rollback, and escalation is critical. The domain also expects you to understand how enterprise tools, agreements, and planning methods all come together to maintain reliable network operations. The overarching theme of Domain 3 is operational excellence. It emphasizes consistent monitoring, structured management, and thorough documentation to ensure that networks are reliable and responsive. Rather than focusing solely on technology, this domain brings attention to the people and processes that maintain network performance. Whether it's through logs, backups, or redundancy strategies, everything ties back to keeping systems available and resilient. For the exam, this means thinking about how to keep things running day to day, not just how to build them in the first place. To conclude, episode 120 on network operations is where theory becomes action. It's the space where uptime is preserved, incidents are handled efficiently, and continuity is never an afterthought. This domain prepares you to manage networks at scale with consistency, planning, and the right tools. On the certification exam, expect Domain 3 to challenge your understanding of operations by presenting real-world maintenance documentation and monitoring scenarios. This knowledge will serve you well whether you're supporting enterprise environments or troubleshooting small-scale deployment. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Network Plus Prepcast, your trusted audio guide to the CompTIA Network Plus certification. This episode was produced by baremetalcyber.com. For more cybersecurity podcasts, books, and resources, visit baremetalcyber.com. Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Bare Metal Cybersecurity Plus podcast. For more episodes, tools, and study support, visit us at baremetalcyber.com. And before you take the test, make sure to check out the practice questions in the book Achieve CompTIA Security Plus SY0-701 Exam Success by Dr. Jason Edwards. They cover every domain and are a powerful way to lock in your knowledge.